Africa's hardest-hitting middleweights will meet in the Hexagon as the kickboxing and Muay Thai champion JP Krueger goes to war with the KO king and striking specialist Tumelo Maphutha. And the fastest rising star in EFC Africa, Frederich Naumann, goes up against the MMA veteran and former welterweight champion Dallas Jakobi. JP Krueger versus Tumelo Maphutha. Frederich Naumann versus Dallas Jakobi. This is their journey to the Hexagon.
Tumelo Maphutha! Oh my goodness! Down. Maphutha stalking, he lands a big shot in the middle.
It shows you how good Tumelo Maphutha actually is. Most of his fights he took on short notice, and in every single one of them he looked very impressive.
If Tumelo connects with that big right hand of his, you're not going to get up.
Hy is die meest talentvolste fighter in my gym.
So he's very strong, very fast. So I'm very glad I'm on the middleweight. I don't have to fight.
I was born in Soshanguve. It's a township, it's not easy. You have to survive.
The youngest in his family, Tumelo Maphutha grew up in Soshanguve, a township situated 25 kilometers north of Pretoria.
Going to school is not easy, like when you go to school, you know that you're gonna be bullied. I was just a small boy with a very small height. So they bullied me because of trying to challenge me. So I thought to myself, okay, since while I'm growing big, my bone is big, then let me try to do something.
Tumelo sang and played the piano at school, avoiding all contact sports. But due to the bullying, Tumelo decided to try out martial arts.
Tried running, it didn't work for me. Singing didn't work for me. I said, let me try to do maybe a contact sport and see what's going to happen. And then I think I was then at 6 and started doing martial art. And then I started enjoying it. Kyokushin is a full contact sport. So it's very hard. It's a bare knuckle fight and we don't hit on the face.
Taking up Kyokushin karate, Tumelo found he had a natural talent for it, excelling in the sport, winning numerous titles and accolades. But a mentor of Tumelo's suggested a move over to Thai boxing, as he felt Tumelo had the potential to do well in the sport. But Tumelo was hesitant.
Because this thing of wearing a boxing glove and seeing a boxing ring, I would only see that on TV. So it's like a new thing on me, like from Kyokushin, we didn't hit each other on the face and all that. So it was quite scary. But I said, like, let me just give it a try because of this guy, he's gotta believe in me. So I thought, let me just give it a try.
As a K1 fighter, Tumelo went on to win the South African title and the African title, defending his South African title on numerous occasions.
Hy het Tumelo on top of the game is K1 the fastest dying sport in the world. En dis toe ons moes convert na MMA toe.
They saw an opportunity on me of doing MMA. I was a bit scared of it because of like seeing the gloves, how small is the glove is, it's kind of a bit scary if you're not used to it. I enjoyed it, luckily, and then I pushed and I started enjoying it.
Tumelo Maphutha, the knockout king of the middleweight division.
Tumelo Maphutha owns one of the most dangerous right hands in the game.
Oh! Tumelo Maphutha! Oh my goodness! Down. Maphutha stalking, he lands a big shot in the middle.
Tumelo makes everyone who fights him look bad. It's like fighting a slab of concrete that hits back hard.
Making his debut at EFC Africa 11, Tumelo Maphutha entered the Hexagon with a wealth of experience. Maphutha has put in impressive performances against the best the continent has to offer.
The first time he actually had a full training camp, he looked sensational. He came in and knocked Chris DuPont out in 6 seconds.
We believe that he can do it, and now I think now he's starting to see it and to believe in himself now, and yes, and still not arrogant at the same time, which is, I think, is a nice thing.
Fighting most of his career as a K1 fighter at heavyweight, now dropping down to middleweight at 84 kilograms, he really is one of the biggest and strongest guys in the division.
Ja, ek dink hy's confident en hy het baie gegroei saam met ons. Hy's baie beter as wat hy was 'n jaar terug gewen.
With his fight against Gareth McClellan, he went up against the #1 contender. He took the fight on a week's notice and he went the full 3 rounds and gave Gareth one of the hardest fights of his life.
Tries to get onto his back. Oh, there's a ground and pound landing shots.
In that bout, he only lost it by split decision.
He's incredibly aggressive and tough, and I can't submit him. And with stand up, he's awake, he's there, and that's the only issue sometimes with him, is that you don't know who's going to pitch up. If it's the guy that's a germ pitches up, he'll destroy anybody. There's nobody who will stand in his way.
After an impressive display against the former middleweight champion, Maphutha will look to build on that momentum and challenge for the middleweight title.
Guys turn down fights against Tumelo all the time. He is one of the most feared middleweights.
There's not an athlete in the EFC Africa middleweight division that does not fear the right hand of Tumelo Maphutha. If he puts that on your chin, you are going down.
Every win is an important win. Winning is not everything, it's the only thing.
JP Krueger is a stand-up specialist and he has a wide array of skills in many different martial arts.
Over the top of the big shot. Oh, in the wall. And immediately goes for the armbar.
How can you not like JP Krueger? He's always got a smile on his face, and you can see he loves every single moment of it.
And he's stepping out. What a submission victory for JP Krueger.
It's very tight indeed.
That looks to be tight. Oh, there it is. Oh, my goodness.
Tapped out.
He's a great fighter, he's a great person.
If you take life too seriously, you won't get out of life. We take shots all day long, getting punched all day long. You're going to have to bring sense of humor, and you're going to have a personality, man. Yeah, otherwise, damn, dog, how do you do it? You know?
Born in Kempton Park, Johannesburg, JP Krueger grew up in a typical Afrikaans family, and like all young Afrikaans boys, loved playing rugby. But JP discovered a greater power at the tender age of 11.
As a little boy, my grandma and grandpa and my folks were sitting in church, and I used to be sleeping under the church chairs, you know, and that's how I grew up. My mom and my dad and my grandma and them, they always kept me in church. And then I was about 11, and then I really decided, you know, just like Jesus is the beginning and the end, he's Alpha and Omega, he's the great I am, man. That's what I want in my life.
Hy is obviously my beste vriende. Ek dink jy kan 'n beter vriend kry as hy nie. En ja, dis JP.
Like many children, JP was bullied at school, and he sought a way to defend himself. And it was there that JP discovered his first true love in martial arts, kickboxing.
I was like most of the professional fighters in the EFC that I've spoken to, bullied in high school. And then we went to a kickboxing club in Boksburg, Sabertooth, with Cliff Leeson, and that's where I started off. Then I fought for them, and then the Lord Jesus blessed me. At the end of my first year, I took this, my first South African title, and then I'm like, man, this is fun, you know? Who doesn't like titles?
JP went on to achieve great success in kickboxing, but it wasn't until he met a trainer called Raymond Phillips that JP's career really took off.
Well, JP, he used to do the kickboxing, and he used to belong to another gym at that point of time. And we actually set him up with a fight with one of our fighters, and at that point it didn't go very well for him. And then he decided, look, maybe he can come and see what we are doing, and that's how things started.
But JP and Sean soon realized that the future of martial arts lies in the form of MMA, and the transition over to it was quite a smooth process.
Trying new training methods. Brian Ebersol has been helping us a lot. Yeah, he's improving in leaps and bounds. He's one of those people that learn very quickly.
You can be the best at kickboxing, you can be the best at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you can be the best at wrestling, at Muta, but if you want to know who's the ultimate fighter, you're going to have to take MMA.
Unlike most MMA athletes, JP's motivation to fight is quite different.
Jesus is the beginning. That's the only reason I fight, I have to be honest. Getting punched in the face, the guy that's going to tell you getting punched in the face is fun. You know, that guy's talking rubbish to you. He's like lying to you. But like a pastor on Sundays, they're standing in their suits. EFC Africa cage, that's my pulpit.
JP Krueger, multiple kickboxing and Muay Thai champion.
JP Krueger is a stand-up specialist and he has a wide array of skills in many different martial arts.
He's just a sponge, he just absorbs all the information. He's always so keen to learn
And yeah, he's just become an absolute all-round fighter.
Over the top of the big shot. In his box, and immediately goes for the armbar.
A decorated kickboxing and Muay Thai champion, JP Krueger is undefeated in the Hexagon. With impressive stand-up skills and an ever-improving ground game, Krueger is one of the most dangerous athletes in the middleweight division.
In his EFC Africa debut against Pete Matong, he went up against another kickboxing specialist, and a lot of people thought that's where the fight would remain. JP actually took him to the ground, and he proved to everyone that he's got a very, very good submission game.
And he's tapping out. What a submission victory for JP Krueger.
The biggest win in his EFC Africa career came over Donovan Hawkey. He was a very tough opponent, and he dealt with him very easily. Took him to the ground and submitted him with an armbar from his back.
Looks to be tight, Donovan. Oh, there it is! Oh, my goodness! He's tapped out.
It was fun. It was a good fight, and at the end of the night, the Lord put his favor on me, and I was happy with that.
That victory over Hawkey made a lot of people sit up and take notice of JP Krueger.
Currently on a 4-fight win streak, Krueger will look for another impressive victory to take him one step closer to middleweight championship glory.
He is now a well-rounded fighter. He's still got great stand-up, dangerous submission game, he's got cardio for days, and he's definitely someone to look out for in this division.
To become a champion, you have to have specific qualities, and JP Krueger ticks every single one of those boxes.
These are two of the most decorated stand-up specialists in the middleweight division.
The middleweight champ is going to be watching this fight very closely because he knows one of these guys is coming for him.
At EFC Africa 22, two middleweights will go to war as they seek the win that will take them one step closer to middleweight gold.
Whoever they put in front of us, that is our next level. You know, that is another stepping stone, and if we need to step on that person and we get back to a higher level, that's what's going to happen.
Undefeated in the Hexagon, JP Krueger has shown that he is one of the most dangerous middleweights on the continent.
You can expect war. He's going to bring me war. He's going to come to eat my head off, and I'm going to try to make him miss, and I'll box back.
This is make or break for JP Krueger. Win this fight, title shot. Lose this, back to the drawing board.
One of the most feared athletes in the division, Tumelo Maphutha possesses the most lethal right hand in EFC Africa.
They mustn't expect much because of the fight it's not going to last long. Like, I think the first round is going to be finished.
Hy gaan vir JP op sy agtervoete moet sit. Hy gaan vir JP moet punch, die elleboog slaan, hom skop. Dis die plan. Die plan is om vir JP hard te fight vorentoe.
You're not going to knock him out. It's practically impossible to take him down, and the division's best can't submit him. How are you going to beat this guy?
Will the kickboxing champion remain undefeated, or will the K1 specialist land the finishing blow? JP Krueger versus Tumelo Maphutha.
We're going to have fun. One fight night, we play MMA.
If I'm going to give him my first shock of my fist, he's going to shake.
Frederick The Ninja Naumann, the fastest rising star in EFC Africa.
This guy's never lost an MMA fight in his life. Undefeated as an amateur, undefeated in the Hexagon. This guy just does not know how to lose.
Oh, that's unbelievable yet again.
Frederich Naumann is a guy that came out of absolutely nowhere, and he has injected a force of energy into the lightweight division.
Making an immediate impact in the Hexagon with 2 submission of the night victories and an impressive 3-round win over Johan van Staden, the undefeated Frederich Naumann has his eyes firmly set on lightweight gold.
In his debut against Pete Nyidi, we were all expecting a kickboxing bout, when in fact we were treated to a very slick submission game.
Nice hip toss by Naumann. He's got full mount, dangerous spot for Nyidi to be in. Sets up the triangle, looks in to be tied. Close again, but he's got the submission victory at Frederick Naumann.
Naumann is the only guy in EFC Africa history to get back-to-back submission of the night bonuses. Not bad for a guy from a kickboxing background.
Quick takedown, a side control position. Oh, tap! That is something incredibly special.
In the Johan van Staden fight, which was without any doubt the biggest test of his young career, Naumann feels that it wasn't his best performance, but he still managed to get his hand raised in the end.
With his unorthodox submission skills and an always in-your-face stand-up, Naumann is one of the most dangerous athletes on the African continent.
There is something very special about Frederik Naumann.
We've seen him improve in every single one of his bouts, and I believe the best of Frederik Naumann is yet to come.
Living in the city of Polokwane in South Africa's Limpopo province, Frederik Naumann was an avid kickboxer, competing in various tournaments from the age of 17.
I thought kickboxing was everything. I lived, breathed, everything was kickboxing. That's the only training I did. And once I had a fight with a guy quite bigger than me. He overpowered me on the ground. I gave him a kick, we went down, and yeah, I couldn't do anything. I felt helpless, and that's when I realized kickboxing, everything it doesn't revolve around kickboxing. Immediately, I joined a wrestling club.
But living in a small town provided Frederick with one big problem. There were no sparring partners for him to train with.
I wrestled for about a month or two, but the problem was there wasn't sparring partners. That was the big problem. So I left wrestling and just trained at home in my garage. A couple of friends came home boxing. We were busy boxing and sparring.
The big change for Frederick came when he discovered mixed martial arts on YouTube. And from there, he knew that was his destiny.
Someone introduced me to Jan Roots. It's a little, I went to his club, a small holding outside of Pietersburg. And immediately when I walked in, I saw the grappling, the wrestling mats, the ropes, everything, and I joined.
It's about 3.5 years back. Fred come to the club and asked if you can join the club, if you can do some MMA. Coming from a karate and a boxing and a wrestling and a jits background, I said, well, let's give it a shot, and I started training him. And he turned out to be one heck of a fighter.
Outside of MMA, Frederick always makes time for his family, spending as much time with them as possible.
At home, Frederick is a loving husband. And he is amazing towards his kids. He loves his kids. Every minute he gets, he spends with them because he's always training and working. So whenever he gets time, he spends time with his kids.
A loving family man, Frederick's main motivation when training and competing is his family.
Everything they do for me, and for me to step into the cage and lose and come back home and tell them, yeah, all the sacrifices that you've done for me, the time I haven't spent with you guys, and for me to lose, that's unacceptable. So that's a very big motivation for me.
Fred trains like an animal, 24/7.
Doing a lot of road work, bag work, my fitness is climbing, strength is there.
Frederik Naumann is part of the new breed of fighter that's very well-rounded from day one they step in the Hexagon.
There's a lot of people supporting him. I think after the last 3 fights, everyone knows Frederik in town. So yeah, no, he's doing nice things for Polokwane.
I don't care to being knocked out or breaking a leg or breaking a thumb. Losing, the fear of losing is worse. So that's a big motivation for me and keeps me training harder.
Dallas Jakobi, the former EFC Africa welterweight champion.
Brutal head kicks, vicious ground and pound. That's Dallas Jakobi.
Oh, big hit defended by Jakobi. Big elbow. Wow. Big and it is trouble. It's Dallas Jakobi and ground and pound.
Dallas Jakobi is a former champion and an absolute veteran of the EFC Africa Hexagon. He's competed in over 3 divisions.
After making his debut at EFC Africa 04, Dallas Jakobi went on to dominate the welterweight division, eventually claiming welterweight gold at EFC Africa 10 after beating Adam the Prodigy Speechley with his renowned GBH ground and pound.
In his title fight against Adam Speechley, he came in as an underdog, but he had a great game plan and he showed great strength and submission defense to have his hand raised after 5 full rounds.
He comes in on, Adam tries to pull guard, Dallas stands on top again, got the arms wrapped, he's landing shots, shoots for the takedown. Very bad spot for Speechley, referee has to get close to him again. Absolutely incredible.
In his first title defense against Jadison Costa, Dallas was overwhelmed. He looked very gun-shy in that fight and eventually ended up losing his title. That fight took a lot out of Dallas, not only physically but emotionally. But as a true warrior, he went back, he worked even harder to work his way back, and now he is a force to be reckoned with yet again.
Losing his welterweight title to Jadison Costa, Jakobi made the drop down to lightweight and will look to make another run for the title in this highly skilled division.
He was known as one of the strongest welterweights, and now he is unleashing that power in the lightweight division.
From a very young age, Dallas Jakobi partook in martial arts, focusing on karate as a young boy, but putting it to the side as he focused more on rugby.
I enjoyed the rugby, those kind of things. Did martial arts as a youngster, karate and everything when I was growing up. And then as soon as we got into high school sports, it just got too much to carry on.
While studying sports science at university, Dallas rediscovered his need for martial arts.
I didn't want to go back to karate. I wanted to try something new, and the new thing at that stage was the mixed martial arts. Found the guys at GBH, Ryan, his son, and I've never looked back.
Dallas has been with me for a long time, almost 10 years now. He's dedicated, he's loyal to his craft, to his friends, to the sport, to everything he does, and you know, that's what makes him special for me.
We met at school, playing rugby together. He was the hooker, I was the prop, and I sort of always protected him, and he did the same for me, and we just had a friendship that's grown from there.
A member of Gorgeous Boys Hardcore for many years, Dallas opened his own gym, which now allows him to follow his passion.
I've got my own gym out in Schlanga, and train people and train myself, and it makes it a lot easier for myself to stay fit and to focus on my own stuff.
At EFC Africa 10, Dallas Jakobi was on top of the world after beating Adam Speechley to become the EFC Africa welterweight champion.
It's something that I'll always remember. I know my manager and my coach and all of them, it's a day that we won't forget soon. So yeah, but we thoroughly enjoyed it.
There was no doubt going into the fight that he was prepared. It was just, was he able to apply what he said, and he was.
I was so proud. It was my birthday just before, and it was almost like another birthday present for me. And I know how happy it made him. Yes, my heart was very full for him. I was really happy.
This is the main event of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the reigning, defending EFC Africa welterweight champion.
It was very tough. It was tough on everyone around him, everyone close to him, because of we know how much Dallas wanted it.
It was very difficult for me to watch him go through that.
And my words to him with the corner were, don't give it to him, he must take it.
It was a big hiding for me, and it was something that I've learned from.
It has made him tougher. Dallas will initially be knocked back, but he always comes back stronger, and that's been through everything we've ever been through.
It's made him more humble, and he's working much harder than he was before.
It's just who I am. You're gonna have to hit that trip switch, otherwise I'm not gonna stop.
Two lightweights face off inside the Hexagon as the undefeated Frederich Naumann squares off against the former welterweight champion Dallas Jakobi.
This is a fight between two very exciting lightweight contenders. Whoever implements their game plan best on the night will get their hand raised.
Seen as one of the most impressive newcomers to the lightweight division, Frederich Naumann is undefeated inside the Hexagon, and a win here will catapult him into title contention.
I want to knock out Dallas, and I feel if I knock him out, I'll be ready for a title shot.
We will take what it needs to win. That's what we do. We win.
A former welterweight champion, Dallas Jakobi will look to his years of experience to get the W and march on toward the lightweight title contender spot.
I'm going out there and I want to win. I need to win. I'm there for a battle, I'm there for a war. And yeah, best man will have his hand raised at the end. So that'll be me.
The experience will see him through, and his strength will see him through, and he's really been training hard, and Dallas always just clicks.
This fight will have a massive impact on the lightweight division.
Will the Ninja once again stand victorious, or will the veteran come out on top? Frederich Naumann versus Dallas Jakobi.
I'm going to swing for the fence, so you can expect a knockout, and this time we won't go to round 3.
I mean, our team motto is we won't stop, and that is, Dallas defines that to the point, you know, that he will fight you from the first second to the last second, and it's very hard to fight someone like that.
It's important to take everyone as a full package, and you go and you fight your own game and see who's better on the night.
It's going to be a first or second round knockout. That I can promise.